As July 2025 begins, Russia's battlefield strategy against Ukraine is showing a consistent pattern. On the front lines, they're deploying thermobaric rocket systems, TOS-1A and TOS-2, to crush Ukrainian defensive positions. Meanwhile, deep inside Ukrainian territory, places like Sumy, Kremenchuk, and Dnipro, cheap kamikaze drones like the Geran-2 are flying overhead, targeting logistics hubs, UAV storage depots, and troop rotation sites. This isn't random, it's coordinated. Russia is hitting both ends, up close and deep behind, and Ukraine is struggling to react fast enough. One clear example of this tactic came on July 1st, 2025, when a Geran-2 drone hit two key Ukrainian positions in Konotop Sumy region. One was a temporary base for the 58th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade, the other a storage site for Ukrainian drones. The strike was quick, clean, and executed at night. The drone flew low, avoiding detection, and hit both targets without any sign of interception. This wasn't the first attack in Sumy, and it likely won't be the last. Sumy remains a repeat target for Russian drones due to its proximity to the Russian border and its role as a logistics artery for the northeastern front. Ukraine is struggling to defend these kinds of rear area positions for a few key reasons. First, its air defense systems are spread thin. High-priority zones like Kyiv, Dnipro, and Lviv take precedence, leaving outer regions like Sumy more vulnerable. Second, there's a cost imbalance. Shooting down a $20,000 drone with a $300,000 interceptor missile just isn't sustainable. Ukraine knows this. That's why they're trying to build a layered network of anti-drone radar and jamming systems. But that kind of network takes time, and time is something they don't have. For now, regions like Sumy are exposed, and Russia is taking full advantage of that fact. From a military standpoint, Geran-2 drones are highly efficient. They're cheap, mass-producible, and difficult to intercept. But even more importantly, they force Ukraine to react. Whenever Ukraine powers up its air defense radars or launches interceptors, it exposes those assets, making them easier to track and destroy in follow-up strikes. This is a classic attrition strategy. Russia isn't trying to level entire cities. They're grinding down Ukraine's supply chains, weakening its troop morale, and creating a state of constant disruption in areas well behind the front line. It's slow, relentless warfare, and over time, the effects add up. In the early phases of the war, Russia relied heavily on expensive missiles like the Iskander and Kh-101. But now, the strategy has shifted. They use Geran-2 drones to probe, distract, and disable soft targets, and only bring in cruise missiles when absolutely necessary. This shift saves money. It increases strike volume, and it forces Ukraine to defend against low-tech and high-tech threats at the same time. But that's only one half of Russia's pressure campaign. The other half is happening right at the front, where brute force still dominates. In close-quarters battles and static trench warfare, Russia is leaning hard on its thermobaric rocket systems, TOS-1A and TOS-2. Unlike conventional artillery, these systems fire rockets filled with fuel-air explosives. They suck oxygen from the air, creating massive blast waves that incinerate bunkers, trenches, and anyone inside them. TOS systems have been used extensively in Chasiv Yar, Avdiivka, and eastern Kharkiv. They're often used as a softening tool, fired just before Russian infantry moves in. The psychological effect alone is devastating. Ukrainian troops often withdraw the moment they hear a TOS launch, knowing that what's coming isn't just another shell, but a weapon designed to suffocate and crush everything in its path. TOS doesn't operate deep behind the lines. Its range is limited, typically around 6 to 15 kilometers, but that's exactly why Russia's strategy combines it with long-range drone strikes. TOS clears the path on the front. Geran 2s break the logistics behind it. Together, they create pressure from both ends. What we're seeing now is a refined strategy, one that blends brute force artillery with cheap long-range drones to overwhelm Ukraine's defenses in two directions. Ukrainian command is being forced into a constant trade-off. Should they reinforce the front line or pull resources back to defend logistic centers? Either way, something is left exposed. Russia is betting that Ukraine can't sustain this kind of pressure forever. And if that's true, this strategy might not just win territory, it might collapse Ukraine's ability to keep fighting at all. The war in 2025 is no longer defined by tank battles or large-scale missile attacks. It's defined by precision, by attrition, and by layered attacks that wear the enemy down, piece by piece. This war isn't just a battle of weapons. It's a battle of endurance, adaptation, and pressure over time. Russia's dual strike strategy, TOS up front, Geran 2s in the rear, may be one of the most calculated plays we've seen so far. How long can Ukraine hold the line under this kind of stress? Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for future battlefield analysis. Until next time, stay sharp. This content is created solely for educational and informational purposes. It is intended to provide insights based on verified data, credible sources, and careful analysis. Our goal is to foster a deeper understanding of modern military technology and current events, not to promote or endorse any form of conflict, propaganda, or political agenda. We strictly oppose the spread of misinformation and hoaxes. Every piece of information presented has been carefully sourced from reliable, publicly available references. We encourage viewers to approach the topic with critical thinking and respect for all sides involved, maintaining a focus on knowledge sharing and open discussion.